Well, welcome to the Cooking Corner in the Air Comfort Solutions kitchen. We're happy to welcome back Chef Geoff VanGlabbeek from Montereau doing a shrimp and tomato risotto. Now, Chef, tell us about the ingredients you brought.
All right, so we'll just kind of dive right into it, and we're going to get started with some shrimp. So we're going to start searing it. We're going to cook this first and take it out so that way you don't get rubber band chewy shrimp. So while that's searing.
What seasoning is on the shrimp?
So we just did a little bit of oil with a little bit of fresh herbs on it. Just kind of get a lot of flavor without throwing in a ton of salt for it ahead of time. That is totally optional, but just kind of helps with a little bit of flavor. I smell the aroma. So once we sear this off, I'm actually going to turn the heat up on just a little bit. We're going to throw a little bit of, we have some fresh cut red onion with a little bit of garlic in it. And this is one, you want to get a nice sear on it. You don't have to worry about cooking it all the way through. We're going to put it back in later on, so if it's not cooked all the way, it's totally all right. We just mostly don't want to leave it in the whole time, so we'll pull this one out. Risotto's a great dish it's very easy to make. It's kind of hard to perfect, but it's easy to learn how to make it.
Okay.
So we're going to throw those onions in there. We're going to let those start to saute. Put just a touch more oil. We're going to add the rice to it. It's arborio rice. You'll see at the grocery store sometimes just called risotto rice, but it's arborio. And it's just a short grain rice. And the way we're going to make this...
Oh, wow, I smell it. Great.
And that's the nice thing about searing it. You're going to get that shrimp flavor in there, so it's going to give you a little bit of flavor right into the rice. So you just want to toast this. You get kind of a nice toasty outside. It gives you a little bit of a toasted, kind of nutty flavor at the end dish. Then we're going to hit it with just a little bit of white wine. Everything's better with just a touch of white wine. And then we're going to start adding our stock. So I just have a little bit of vegetable stock, and I mixed a little bit of tomato juice. And you can just use a small can of tomato juice, it's fine.
This looks incredible. So for people at home that may be wondering, what kind of flavor, whenever you have the end result, does this dish leave?
So you'll get a little bit of shrimpy, a little seafood flavor, a little bit of tomato. We're going to finish it with some fresh grape tomatoes and a little bit of chives and some butter to give it some nice creaminess. And then the other thing is, because we're kind of right at the end of the summer, so if your grape tomatoes aren't looking great, you can completely do this with sun-dried tomato instead.
Okay.
Definitely use less. It'll be very strong without. But the one trick with risotto, you have to stir it.
You have to stir it.
So that's how you get that nice creamy texture from it. This is great if you want to torture your kids or your sibling or anything like that.
Oh my.
Get them involved in cooking, but that's kind of the hard part, is all that nice richness and creaminess comes from stirring it. It's breaking the starch out of the rice.
Perfect. And so once you add the tomatoes and the cheese and the rest of the ingredients, how long would you say it takes before it's complete?
It takes about 20 minutes to simmer while you're stirring it. Just keep adding stock to it. Right at the very end, I add the shrimp, let it finish cooking all the way through, and then finish it with the tomatoes, the butter, and the cheese on top.
Lovely. Well, Chef Geoff, we appreciate you as always. Now, you can check out many more recipes just like this one. Just go to our website. That's newson6.com/recipes. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.